Mrs. Sanchez.
Okay, I'm Miss Bonaparte. I just called you in today because I was concerned about Tony. He's been showing some bad trends. I've noticed he's not doing his homework. He has a sassy mouth with his teachers, and then unfortunately recently he got suspended. That you're aware of, right?
I'm aware.
He was suspended because he got into a fight. He assaulted another student, and so we're just noticing the trends of his behavior, and we're just concerned. And I just wanted to talk to you today just to get to know you and get to know Tony a little more and what may be your concerns at home so we can, help out.
Okay, so recently, well, 5 years ago, him and his sister became orphans because their parents, they were killed in an automobile accident due to his father drinking from coming from a party. So the responsibility of taking care of him has really fallen on my husband and I's shoulders since I have 2 children, a daughter and a son who they're not in the right state to take care of 2 children that are 10 and 13, like Tony and his sister Maria. So I'm just feeling overwhelmed with the pressures of being a new parent since I haven't really been a parent in so long.
Okay, so does your husband, is he able to help you out or?
Currently he's not. He's retired from the mail center, so we lost that income. I don't have any income because I can't work and watch the children and take care of him because he recently had a stroke and he's paralyzed on one side. So we have a 2-story home, so he can't really get from point A to point B without any assistance.
Okay. How does Tony act at home? Like, is it the same behavior that we mentioned to you in school, or?
Yeah, I've noticed that he has a sass problem. He does talk back. But like I said, I haven't mentioned the suspension to my husband because it's so much going on at home. Mm-hmm. So I've kind of just been trying to just let him go through this phase of not really having a father figure, which I think is what he needs to really help him straighten out.
Okay, so you think he needs like a masculine person in the household to show him?
Exactly.
Something like that?
Exactly.
Okay. You mentioned that Tony has a sister. How old is she?
She's 10.
She's 10. Okay, and how is she in school?
She's quiet. The teachers have just let me know that they notice she likes to work by herself more often than group projects.
Mm-hmm. Is she like that at home? Like, how does she act at home?
At home, it's hard to tell at home because she has her brother. Mm-hmm. So I think she's just more comfortable being with her brother since that's what she knows. She knows me and her brother, so she can be more comfortable than in a school setting with other children and other teachers and stuff.
Okay, how often does Tony play at home, like outside or?
Every day. I let him wear himself out to get his energy out so that when he does come in, he's not as rowdy and as unruly, and I can control him more.
Okay, so usually if he goes outside and like play, is he like has a better behavior, or is it kind of like still the same?
It's a better behavior. I've noticed he really has pent up, like, not so much aggression, but just energy that I noticed that he just needs to work out, which is why I mentioned a father figure in his life, someone that can go outside with him and play sports and get him involved in different things so he can not have so much energy.
Okay, does Tony and Maria ever mention their parents, or?
I haven't found a way to really explain to them the extent of their situation, that they are orphans and I am the primary caregiver due to them being orphans.
Okay, and they just never asked about their parents, or?
When they do, I tend to brush it off because I'm not really in the state of mind. I'm just tired, weak from having to deal with a 10-year-old and a 13-year-old, and then having to deal with my husband and just not having any income because I can't clean the apartments like I mentioned before, since I am taking care of them full time and taking care of my husband full time.
So you feel like everything's like weighing on you?
Exactly.
Okay. So the first thing, does Tony do a lot of his homework at home, or does he say he does like his homework at school? How does that go?
I haven't noticed him doing any more homework than usual. So I felt as though he was completing his assignments until his teachers did let me know that he wasn't.
Okay, do you ever like check up on his homework, or?
I don't, because I am 68, so I feel like I don't know what today's kids are learning. So I feel like I'm no help in that department. So I just tend to just let him try to work it out on his own. And
okay. how often does he have like a sassy mouth with you, or maybe his sister or friends?
Well, whenever things don't go his way, that's when he tends to get out of control and out of character, which is why I believe he did assault the student at school to get suspension. Because with him having pent up energy, sometimes he doesn't know how to release it, and he does turn to violence or just sassing.
Okay. When he's sassy mouth, is he like really loud, or it's like a calm, sarcastic?
It's like sometimes he gets loud depending on if I say you can't go outside, then he'll get upset. Or if I say just no to simple things, he'll like mutter under his breath. But he only really gets upset if I take away his playtime outside.
Okay, does he ever like just shut down, like just doesn't say anything? Or it's always like an outspoken burst?
He always makes sure he gets his point across that he's angry.
Okay. Just wondering, how often are the kids involved with like their grandfather? Like, do they ever speak to him, or?
They have a good relationship. Just right now, they're not aware of how bad his situation is since the stroke, like I said, caused him to be paralyzed on one side. They just know he's not the same grandfather that he was before the incident.
Okay, and how often do you may yell at the kids?
Every time I get upset, I yell.
You yell. Okay.
I do. That's the only way I know how to express that I'm angry. That's the only way that I can get them to respond is by yelling. So
to show like you're
upset.
Yeah, trying to gain that authority back.
Exactly.
Okay, cool. Is Tony physical ever with you? Like if he gets really mad?
No, not with me per se, but I have noticed that he'll push Maria or shove her, or typical older brother things that I didn't really pay attention to until this incident at school did occur.
So in the neighborhood, has he ever gone to the same type of incident with a neighbor or something like that?
Just boys being boys, roughhousing, I thought.
So nothing like extreme?
No.
Okay, cool. What's another question I wanted to ask you? So just to be clear, he has some of the similar characteristics that he shows at school at home as well.
Exactly.
I can tell that it's more heightened at school, maybe because he's used to you being around you all the time, so maybe he's calmer, but he still acts the same way. Other than that, you did mention that he does do his homework, but it's not any different than before. It's kind of like the same thing, and I am aware that there is a big age gap between him and you and the work and the education at the time from now. You did say that he had a sassy mouth. It's pretty much the same thing, the same trend at home and here, and also that there wasn't an extreme like fight like in the neighborhood from home in school. Do you have any questions for me?
I really just feel as though I should be put in contact with a organization that might be able to like lead him in the right path. Maybe. Also, I think I want to see if he has ADHD or something that is the reason for his like extreme energy that he seems to have at times.
Okay.
I think that's what might be affecting him at school is maybe if he had medication to get him to focus and sit down and do his work and just have a chilled spirit, then he wouldn't be suspended right now.
Yeah, so you're thinking about some examinations, giving, some concrete reasons why he may be acting like this, his behavior. And then you're thinking like maybe an all boys organization or just like maybe somebody like an organization within his group.
I think an all boys would be better because with his grandfather can't really do anything, so I don't really count him in the house. But with me being a grandmother and then he has a little sister, he's around women. So I think he just needs to be shaped and formed by an older male, other boys, just so he can get an experience.
Right. Let's just ask some other person. And also the organization would be like strong male leads in the organization like that. So that's really your focus, like a type of basically a father figure.
Yes. Or an older brother maybe.
Yeah, can you elaborate on your other children and maybe give me some reason why they can't help out or like They can't be around as much.
Well, I have a son and a daughter. They also have their own kids and they stay out of state. And I didn't really want to take Maria and Tony away from a city that they knew well, because I stayed in the city, their parents did, they did. So I felt changing their life in that way and also having them not have parents, that would do more harm than good. So I felt like with my kids being busy with their children, I just needed to keep them here so that I can have one-on-one attention with them since they need it the most.
Okay, that is understandable. Are they far in state or are they like neighboring state?
A couple hours away, so not that far.
Okay. Have any more questions for me or?
I would just like help to find programs that I could get him in, and if you have any way of getting in contact with doctors to see which ones are best, to see if he has ADHD or anything, that'd be great.
Okay, well I'll definitely keep you updated. So I know you mentioned that you basically being like a single parent is overwhelming. And so do you think that you will still be able to really take care of them as well, or?
If the only thing that gets overwhelming is the outbursts that Tony tends to have. So I think once we settle that, it'll become a lot more easier to manage him.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for coming in today. I will keep everything that I have for you and I'll keep you updated, okay?
Okay, thank you.
No problem.